Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Neff from Nev's Tech Bits. Today I want to talk about Huawei and Lenovo. So, we're all about getting Huawei out of our systems, but what about Lenovo? Lenovo was IBM. IBM sold off of its hardware section to the Chinese, and the Chinese have been taking Lenovo and trying to make it a good Chinese brand. That's one thing Lenovo really prides itself on, being good, firm hardware, good, firm software too that just works. Unfortunately, they had issues going on like the Superfish virus or vulnerability where advertisements on the internet would come from where Lenovo wanted the advertisements to come from and not from where the internet page individual wanted to come from. So that was a bit of a, we weren't too happy with that. Because of that, a lot of people have been going with Dell these days. Anyways, so we don't go with Huawei stuff because everyone's worried that the Chinese are going to put back doors in them. Now, since this stuff is based in China, these corporations are based in China, it means that unless you want to get taken out behind the prison and shot in the head, you're going to do what the Chinese government tells you. And I'm not being racist, I'm not being anything, that's just frickin' how it goes in China. If this upsets you, I think that you should definitely take a look at what's going on in China right now and realize that these phones that we're using right now, there's blood on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Foxconn, made in China. They got suicide nets all over their place. I'm sure you've heard of this stuff, so that people can't throw themselves off the side of the buildings that they work in and kill themselves because they can't handle their lives anymore. We got issues going on in China, ladies and gentlemen, and if you don't think that, then odds are you're making a lot of money from China. But I'm telling you, man, if you got technology, there's a bit of blood on your hands. Anyways, we're not using Huawei in the USA because the Chinese can put back doors in these things. What about Lenovo computers? These are made in China. Of course, the Chinese are very happy that they make these things. It would be very easy to put a backdoor vulnerability on a Lenovo system, and a lot of departments like to use Lenovo. I know a lot of government in Canada like to use Lenovo. I can tell you that because I know people within the government. And the only other alternative is Dell. Now, the Chinese are going around to all of their places of work within the government and getting rid of any American brand, any Microsoft, any HP, any, I guess, Dell, any of that kind of stuff. But should we get away from Lenovo? Seriously. If we're worried about Huawei, why aren't we worried about Lenovo? And if we're worried about Lenovo, and if we're worried about Huawei, why don't we worry about Apple? Because Apple exists quite a bit in China. They don't have as much of a domination thing there, but they do have security keys to all of our information that are there within China. And once again, unless you want to get taken out behind the prison and shot in the head in China, you do what the government tells you, and that's how things work there. Once again, if you don't like the sound of that, if I hurt your feelings with this information, I definitely recommend that you go out and get some middle-of-the-road information about this, because it ain't right. It ain't right. That's just what's going on. And because it hurts your feelings doesn't mean that I'm incorrect or factually incorrect. There's a lot of factually incorrect stuff. There's a lot of factually correct stuff that is unfortunately really hard to hear. And that's one of them. But seriously, what's up with Lenovo? Should we continue using them? Maybe we should switch to Dell. It's just interesting they're switching. Anyways, this is it for me. Take care of each other, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously. That might be all we got. Have a good one, folks.